Is now the right time to sell your home? Here's how to know. Have you ever been driving down the street and seeing a for sale sign, or maybe you've been kicking it back and forth with your family for some time now on, should we sell our house? Is now the right time to sell? And maybe you've heard of success stories of people putting their house on the market and it's selling in a weekend or a couple days. And maybe you've heard the reverse on some stories where people put their house on the market and it sat for months, and after price reductions and not a lot of showings, they finally get some showings through the door and the sellers end up taking a little bit less than they originally wanted to. All of that can either happen with a quick sale or not happen with a longer sale, is affected based on timing. Timing is everything in the real estate market. And in this video, we'll talk a little bit about how to know if the timing is right for you and some things to look out for on when you can try to time things perfectly to allow for a quick sale for top dollar. So why does timing matter so much? Timing your property and listing it on the market could cost you dollars, thousands of dollars. If you list it too early or you list it too late in the market, you might get fewer buyers through the door, fewer offers, and the property will sit on the market for a longer time. And the more the property sits on the market, all of the buyers, start to question what's wrong with this property? How come it hasn't sold yet? Even if that reason is just the timing was wrong. So here are three big things that affect and why the timing of things are so important when listing your house on the market. The first one is market conditions. Sometimes we'll be in a full swing with buyers, similar to we saw in the COVID days, where there was a lot of buyers in the market making moves for whatever reason. After kind of the year and a half into COVID, a lot of buyers had already purchased their house. So then buyer activity dropped off and markets tend to shift. Right now it is a little bit favorable to the buyer just because there's not a lot of buyers in the market. But as things shift, there will be, more buyers in the market, which favors sellers. Another market condition can be interest rates. Again, back to the COVID days when interest rates were so low, that's what brought a lot of buyers out into the market because interest rates were low. And it was very affordable to get a house. So the market rates can shift, and the lower the market and interest rates go, the more that buyers are able to afford, which can cause prices to go up. And there's also the third thing, a seasonality component, especially here in the upper Midwest, the Chicagoland area. Seasonality can be very important as we get into the later months of the year, November, December, into the January, February timeframe. Houses don't move as quickly. Buyers have a hard time envisioning living in a house. If they're buying, and trying to buy a house in January, they're potentially having to move in February, which, in Illinois could be 20 below zero with 3 feet of snow. And it's not a very great, favorable moving condition. So that seasonality can play a factor as well. And typically, especially here in the Chicagoland market, kind of after the Super Bowl is when our spring market starts to go up, and we'll hit a peak kind of into May. And then by July, things start to slow down a little bit. So if you're looking for the best time to sell your house, catching that spring swing, if you will definitely help your house sell quicker and get more buyers through the door. All right, so now let's talk about how to determine if now is the right time for you to sell your house. And really, you have to take a look at two different sides of the coin when determining if now is the best time for you to sell your house. The first one is the market side. So if you take a look around your neighborhood, around your city, your town, maybe houses that are in the same school district, we take a look and say, okay, are houses currently selling quickly? When they come on the market, are they selling at a pretty quick amount? Are they selling for pretty much what the seller is listing them for and wanting to get out of the property. Another thing we'll look at when we're looking at market factors and determining whether now is the right time is how many buyers are out looking. So we can take a look at buyer activity, how many showings are actually happening when houses are on the market. And that'll give us a determination on like, hey, we're getting into a spring swing of the market, or we're getting into a time when buyers are very active. And this could be a good time for you to get your house onto the market. And a third thing that we look at is inventory low. So similar to our house is selling quickly, if we look on the market and there's 25 houses and only 5 have sold within the last 4 months, maybe the timing isn't the best of thing. But if there's only a couple of houses on the market and they're all selling quickly as soon as they come up, then inventory is low, and that heavily favors you because there is less competition from other sellers and other listings that are on the market, and your house will shine a little bit more. So besides market timing and determining if now is a good time for you to sell, there is also the personal side of things. The personal side of the coin determine is now a good time for you to sell. And there's a few different things that we look at, right? Is there a reason for the move? Are you getting a job transfer? Is your family growing? Do you need to downsize? So we'll take a look at those personal reasons and kind of determine, does my current house fit my needs, or do I need to go and find something else? Another part of that in determining whether on the personal side of things you're ready for a sale is the equity that is currently in your home. Do you have enough equity to sell, not only just to complete the sale, but also get out of your house what you need for the next house and your next move? Are you going to have enough funds to help purchase the next house for a down payment, or moving expenses and closing costs and all that sort of stuff? Another personal factor is your next move ready? If you're building a new house and the construction time, isn't until the, 6-7 months out, now is probably not the best time, to put your house on the market. So the timing of, is your next move ready? Are you already under contract to purchase a house? Various different factors in there. And then there's the emotional component. Are you mentally ready and prepared for the sale? Is the timing right? Is the market right? Now, are you ready to take that next dive, that next step forward emotionally, because it is one of the most stressful things that you can do. And if you have a lot of life things going on at one time, the timing of putting your house on the market and selling and making a move may not be the best thing. Now, the good news is you can always start with contacting me, getting a free home valuation. We can go through your needs and your wants and your reasons for wanting to make a move, and then we can then determine if the timing is the best for you in terms of putting your house on the market and trying to sell it. All right, so now let's visualize kind of the two scenarios that can play out. Scenario number one, the visualization is we time it perfectly. Your house is ready. You're ready to make a move. You put it on the market with the perfect timing. We get a lot of buyers through the door, multiple offers. You get exactly what you want out of the house and maybe even a little bit more. We can negotiate on things outside of money like closing date, and we get the best opportunity and the best deal for you. And then the other scenario on the flip side of that is maybe we wait too long, or we list it too early, and the timing is off just a little bit. The house sits a little bit longer. We don't get the multiple offers. We have to negotiate a little bit, whether it's on price or credit, or the buyers, want specific demands that if we timed it right, we wouldn't have to give into, and it's not as favorable, even though you're still completing the sale of your house. So what it boils down to is timing is everything, and that's why talking to a professional like myself and figuring out, is the market right, is the time right for you, is a great first step in order to start your journey and process of selling your house. So how do you know if the timing is right for you? Well, let's find out together. Feel free to shoot me a message, call, text, email, however you want to do. I'd be happy to give you a free consultation. We can look at the market and determine, here's what the market's doing. Look at the value of your house and determine, are you able to pull out enough money in order to make your next move make sense for you? We can talk through the personal reasons and why you're wanting to move, or why you're trying to determine what is going to be your next step, and then we can make a determine on, is the timing right for you? There's no right answer. It's just what works for you. Does it make sense with the timing of the market? And I'm happy to have that conversation with you and determine if your house is ready and the timing is right for your house to be sold for top dollar.